Go.
Hey everyone, welcome to our team Zoom. I hope everybody's having a really good day. Hi Pam. Pam's been crazy busy. Good to see you. I'm just going to introduce myself because some of you don't know me. My name is Mitzi Garrido, also known as Melissa Burke Garrido on Facebook. So some people go, are you Melissa or Mitzi? I'm both. I go by two names. I started Isagenix back in July with Rachel and Pam and that whole group. A little bit about me, I am married. I've been married for, 31 years in August. Doesn't seem possible. I have two children. I have a 24-year-old son who passed his swim test today for the fire department, and he has his oral interview on Monday. And I have a daughter who is 17. We were just at her last high school softball game, graduating this year and going on to UCF over the summer. So a little bit busy with all that stuff going on, but just love my kids and love being a mom. I am by trade a licensed massage therapist. I do work full time, temporarily, and then I do Isagenix also, which will be my full-time job here very soon. I'm going to declare that. I love what I do. I love the products. I was introduced to this company by Rachel. Rachel and I have known each other for many, many years. We competed in gymnastics together. And then after that part of our life, she came and worked for my mom. My mom owned the gymnastics academy, and Rachel came, and that was her first job. My mom gave her first job, and my mom's on the Zoom today for the first time. Hi, Mom. So my mom gave Rachel her first job, so we were able to work together, and then we kind of separated a little bit. We parted our ways. She went and got married and started a family, and I did the same, and then reconnected. And I want to say, Rachel, it was probably about 13 years ago, I think, that we reconnected.
About 13 years.
Yeah, about 13 years ago, and we were in a prior company together, and when Rachel told me that she was going to switch over to Isagenix, I really didn't know what to think. I was a little scared. I think like everybody, we were doing pretty good in our other company, and but all of us, I think, agree now that it really wasn't home. We liked some of their products, but didn't love them all. Some of the products really helped me, but not all of them. I now came to realize, now that I'm with Isagenix, I am home, and I absolutely love this company, and I absolutely love the products. And the one thing, well, there's two things that I really love about it is, one, they really work. I was in a position where I've, always been in pretty good shape because I was a gymnast, and I've always paid attention to my body and how I ate, and I felt like I ate very well, but I always had that extra 10, 15 on me after my kids that I just couldn't lose. I couldn't get rid of, and I was never really happy, and I would just work out harder, and I wouldn't see my results. Well, when Rachel said she was coming to this company, I said, you know what, I'm going to do the 30 days, and I'll make my decision then. And I can tell you, after 2 weeks, I was completely sold. It has completely changed my life. It's taken all of my joint pain away. Because of being a massage therapist for 24 years, I was having a lot of issues with my hands. Because of the gymnastics, my joints always hurt because we were always injuring ourselves. So after 2 weeks, I really, really noticed a significant difference with myself personally. So not just for the weight loss, but for the decrease of discomfort in my joints. And that was huge for me. That really made a difference for me. And then the other thing that I really like about Isagenix is the other company was for me with some of the products and not for my family. Isagenix is for my whole family. We as a family do the Isagenix system. And that's really big for me because it's not just about me feeling good and me using a couple of the products and feeling good. It's about my whole family being healthier. So that's made a huge difference for me. I'm going to talk about my mom for a second. She was on the products for not even 30 days and went to the doctor and had an excellent report. We just kind of looked at each other because she never told the doctor what she was doing. So had a decrease of like 25% in her pulmonary edema after 30 days. Can I say that that was from Isagenix? No, I can't. I legally cannot say that. I cannot make that medical claim, but I can tell you that she did nothing different other than Isagenix that 30 days. So, just the transformation that I have has been huge, just for our health. So that's what I love. That's what I love about the company. That's why I'm sticking around with the company. Been life-changing for my family and I. My husband has always battled with his weight. He's down 30-something pounds and absolutely loves it. He loves, the system, and we can all do it. So I just love that. So that's my story with Isogenics. I am super duper excited that I have a guest on the Zoom today. And I know he's really, really nervous, but that's okay, because he in the last couple days has stepped out and shown tremendous growth. And Frank, I am so super proud of you, and I have no doubt in my mind that you are going to go to the top of this company. I can just see it. So I just want to introduce, and I don't know, Frank, what the proper title is for you, but I'm going to say Frank is my second cousin-in-law. And that kind of maybe might be right. It's my first cousin's daughter's husband. And that is Frank. So I would like Frank to tell his story, a little bit about how he got started, and share what's made a difference with you. Go ahead, Frank.
Okay, so hi everybody. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. My name is Frank Martinsik. I started, well, let's go way back to the beginning. I was going to the chiropractor pretty regularly, and about a year and a half ago, I was actually introduced to Isogenics and didn't even know that I really was. My chiropractor pulled me aside and said, hey, you mentioned you're battling your weight. Why don't you try this? And he pitched it to me, but it's a time, okay, I'm not going to spend the money. I don't need to do that. Well, maybe a year later, my wife's Aunt Carol starts on Isogenics, and I hear about it. I talk about it. Mitzi and I even spoke a little bit about it. It wasn't right for me at the time. Little did I know it should have been, because it has been amazing since I've started. It's been about 35, 40 days that I've been on the products. I feel fantastic. I have energy. I sleep great. And one of the main reasons that I chose to do it this time, third time's a charm, is I went to the doctors and my cholesterol was through the roof. My doctor said, you're going on medication. Well, my dad was on medication. It almost crippled him. So he said, okay, we'll try this other medication. No. That one gave my dad cirrhosis of the liver. So I said, I'm just going to do it myself. And so I tried and failed again. And then he called me and said, listen, I'm going to not be your doctor. I'm not going to be able to if you don't go on medication or get this under control. Well, I made a post on Facebook. Mitzi private messaged me and changed my life. Truly changed my life. My weight, I haven't been happy with it since high school. And college hit, and the freshman 15 turned into the senior 60, and then it got worse. And working long hours in a gas and oil field, you eat gas station food, it was terrible. I'm still in a gas and oil field, and I have managed to drop 26 pounds, along with, I just took blood work yesterday. I wish I would have had my results back today to let everybody know that my cholesterol is better, whether it is Isogenics or not. I'm hoping that my cholesterol gets significantly better with this test. But it's really, a lot of people are noticing it. I feel amazing. I'm cleaning out my closet. I've gotten rid of clothes that I was almost embarrassed to buy whenever I had to buy them, because I needed to fit into them. Luckily, I kept a lot of clothes that were from whenever I was a lot thinner, so I almost have a new wardrobe now. In the meantime, my wife, Crystal, has decided to get on Isogenics. She just started a 30-day. And she started Saturday, and she did it Saturday, Sunday, Monday, shakes. And then today is her first cleanse day. We're both going to do a 2-day. I talked her into a 2-day, and she's feeling unbelievable today. I love cleanse days. And she didn't understand it. I would tell her, she's like, you're not eating. And I would eat 2,000, 3,000 calories a day, which was part of my problem. She said, how do you go without eating that much and just doing what you do on a cleanse day? I said, you have to try it. You have to experience it. And she's been texting me all day long going, oh my God, I can't believe I'm not hungry. I feel amazing. And so she's hooked. It's great. I mean, it's in I think our daughter, my daughter's 7 years old. That's why I was late getting on today. So I apologize. I coach her softball team, and the game ran a little late. She's 7 years old, and she's already looked at us and said, "Mom, Dad, I don't want to be the only one in the house eating sweets." It really is life changing, and I can't wait. We're going to look into and see, what she can do, and let her try it out and feel better. And she's a grown girl, so we want her to be healthy as well. And I mean, it truly is a life changing experience.
That's awesome, Frank. So tell everybody, how long have you been doing Isogenics?
I don't know the exact day. It's right around 35 to 40 days.
So you're down 26 pounds.
Down 26 pounds. Well, that was this morning. I'm cleansing today, so I'm sure it's past that by now. My goal by the end of this week is 30. That's my first goal, was 30 pounds. I'm hoping to hit it by the end of the week.
That's awesome. That is just so awesome. That is so exciting. And I have to tell you guys, is more Frank's testimony. When I hear that, drives me so much, just to know that there's so many people out there that we can change their lives. Like, this is huge. This is huge. So Frank also got his mother-in-law started. My first cousin, Sandy, started on just ordered her product. Actually, she's on them. Down 10 pounds was her first goal. And she went ahead and she made her first goal already also. So that's so exciting to me. So we're going to get all of Pennsylvania on Isogenics.
Yeah.
So that will be awesome. Very, very cool. So I wanted to share with everybody, when Frank got on board, I was really trying to think how to keep everybody connected. So I started a texting group. And Frank, I want your opinion. What I did, everyone, was I with texting, you can only add 10 people to a group, but I added all these people. And we would walk through the days together. Frank, can you give your opinion on that? Do you feel like that was a big factor for you, at least in the beginning, to get you?
Absolutely, because I had a lot of questions in the beginning, and what was nice was sometimes I didn't even have to ask the question. Somebody else was already asking that question. So, and sometimes I didn't even know I had a question until somebody asked it, and it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know that, and now I do. So I think it was very beneficial to be on the text threads and just be able to, I mean, even if it's just a little conversation that happens, I mean, the support group is amazing. I actually plan on.
I really like that, and I felt like that helped too. And what I would do, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think I have a bad connection, but I'm actually planning on, with my 4 people that I have underneath of me, Sandy, Steve, Alex, and Crystal now, gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna create a group with them and then add people as we go until I hit my 10, and then they can help and start their threads.
Perfect. That's perfect. And then what I also started doing, which is huge, is, when people typically start the program, most people are starting for weight loss. It's not all, but most are. A lot are doing the performance, but they get locked into the certain number or certain products that they're using. You have your Ionic Supreme and then the Cleanse for Life, and you have your shakes, but they don't know about the brain boost and the sleep renewal and the joint formula and all that. So what I do is periodically, I try to do once or twice a day, I'll just throw a new product in there and go, oh my gosh, this product has helped me so much with my sleep. Or, oh my gosh, this product has helped me so much with my undiagnosed ADD, and stuff like that. And that, I feel, too, helps people. And Jen, you're laughing. I was never diagnosed, but that scrambles. But, I really feel that we can help also introduce new products to people that typically would not look at them. But, it's a way for us to introduce new products to customers. So I find that has helped.
Hey,
also.
where are you going? I'll meet you at home. I'm on a Zoom. I can't drive. I'm speaking. I'll just meet you at home, okay?
Nobody. So I really feel like that has helped also. Do you agree, Frank? Do you feel like that?
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Good. Well, I am so super proud of you, Frank. I'm so glad you took a leap of faith. And a little bit what I want to talk about today is only because I was paying attention to what Frank was saying It's the only reason why he's here today. Because I had asked Frank a couple times if he would be interested in looking at the program, and it was no, not for me. No, I can't do it. I like food. No, can't do it. And you know, we post and we post and we post, but then sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I fail to go back and watch people to see what they're saying, okay? And because I was watching what was going on, because I had 5 people that I watch, and Frank was one, because I knew that he was having issues, because I had asked him before, and I just happened to be watching when he posted, listen, I need help. The doctor said this isn't good. I need help. So I jumped on him so fast. I think it was probably 5 minutes after you posted the post. I got very lucky to jump on him very quick. But if I had not been paying attention and watching, I wouldn't have seen it. So as much as we know when we post, people are watching us, right? People are watching us, and we get people coming back to us all the time going, what are you doing? Because we're doing before and after post. But my question, I guess, to everybody on the Zoom, and if you're not on live and you're going to watch the recording, is, are you watching other people? Because that's so important. You know, ultimately we have to pay attention to other people to see what their needs are. And then because people are saying them, but I think that a lot of times we're not observant to them because we're in our own little world and thinking about what we need to do, not about what other people need. Okay, so that's kind of what I want to talk about for the topic today, is for us to pay more attention to the world around us. I think in the business world, a lot of times we hear, you know, let's put our blinders on, let's put our blinders on. But in this kind of a field, you have to open your eyes and look around and listen. And when you're in the grocery store, instead of focusing on what you're doing, listen to people around, because people are either talking about they're not happy because they're too tired, they don't like the way they look, they feel fat, they feel fluffy, or they're not making enough money. And I think if we keep our ears open and really listen to people, we're going to hear a lot of conversations like that. So I'm just really happy that I was paying attention to Frank at that moment, and I am so happy that I got to help change his life. I can't take credit because the one who stepped into it, but I thank Frank. Thank you so much for having the faith and trusting me and trusting Isogenics. You know, I'm so happy to see you feeling better and to start changing people's lives, and then you're going to be able to do the same and make a difference in your family's life. So that's just awesome. So I have notes, sorry. So so Lynn always says, Lynn Hagdorn talks about how we need to talk to people and share, right? So I guess my talk tonight is we want to share with everyone. I think sometimes too, we're a little afraid to share with certain people because we think that they might be a little bit more well off than us, a little bit better to do. But I can promise you, everybody would like a little bit of extra money, and I don't care how much money you're making. Everybody would like a little extra money and a little extra time. Could you agree with that? We could agree with that. So I think that if we pay attention and start to share with everyone instead of our select few, and I always think to myself, when I get a little shy and afraid to share, this company and this product is good enough for me. Why would I think that it's not good enough for them? Right? If it's good enough for me and it's good enough for you, then it has to be good enough to act with. And I also think that sometimes we get stuck on sharing because we feel like we're not secure enough to do it. And I guess what I can say is we need to get out of our own way, because it is about sharing with others and not keeping something so amazing in our hands when we should open our hands and give it. And just give it away. I went blank. I can't remember what I was going to say. I think I said all that. Oh, I wanted to share something that I saw in a training that Michael Klaus did. I don't know if you guys all saw this or not, but he did a training about sharing the whole menu. Have you seen that? Has anybody seen that? He talks about sharing when you go to share with somebody, sometimes we're going to share the weight loss system, or we're going to share the performance line. But instead, when you think about when we're sharing Isogenics, we want to share a menu, just like you go into a restaurant. If you go into a restaurant and they give you a menu and the menu only has chicken on it, what if you don't like chicken? Right? So you want to share the whole menu. You want to share all the lines along with the business opportunity. You want to share everything. So you don't want to just be stingy with sharing one thing or another. So we have to make sure that we share everything when we're doing that. And also, we're going to show a video in a second. Rachel, you're going to be able to pull that up, I hope, about how we communicate with people and how we listen to people, to what people are saying, and how we respond to people. And I also thought this was very good. It all ties into basically paying attention to what people are saying around us, and not just, looking, shallow. If, again, if I had not looked for Frank, and you guys, everybody has to understand too, I don't know Frank. Frank and I don't even know if he remembers this, but we've met one time. We met one time when your child, gosh, was just a little baby. And I really don't even know Frank and Crystal, really, even though they are my second cousins. So for me, it was uncomfortable for me to have a relationship at all. So I guess with saying that is, if we're reaching down and we see somebody post something, instead of being afraid to say, hey, I saw your post, Sally, I saw your post, and you had posted that you were a little concerned about your weight gain or that you were feeling tired. Listen, my name is Mitzi, and I would really, are you okay if I reach out to you and share something with you? I would love to share something that has changed my life. And that's basically what I did with Frank. So, so share deeper, go deeper, really pay attention to what people are saying. And the only other thing I wanted to share was, there was a Zoom that we had, the leaders were on a Zoom the other day, and some of the verbiage that they used was absolutely amazing. And I wanted to share that tonight because I'm not sure if that got passed around. Rachel, I don't know if that got posted anywhere, but this verbiage came from Jessica Rigner. And maybe somebody can, Rachel, if you know the spelling of her name, you can type that in. Brilliant, this lady. So her suggestion was, somebody said, Ringner? Okay, somebody said, says, what do you say when somebody says, what do you do? Okay, so if somebody walks up to you, what do you do? Her response is, I am the CEO of a virtual franchise that has a global distribution of products that I'm absolutely obsessed with. That is just absolutely amazing. That's a brilliant comment. I am the CEO of a virtual franchise that has a global distribution of products that I'm absolutely obsessed with. Brilliant, brilliant. So that's one of the things that she had said that I just wanted to share because I'm not sure how far around that got. And then the other thing that she was sharing was she was sitting around with some friends, and I know I don't know everyone on the Zoom. I know most people on the Zoom, and most of you can relate. All of us friends can relate. And she said that she sits around with some friends, and if she's not eating good or they're having some cocktails and you're just having a good time, she comes out and she'll say, normally I would be regretting this. But when I get home, I have a secret weapon. So then people are going, secret weapon? Well, what's that? And then she says, well, when I get home, all of this will be erased. And then, of course, you have curiosity, right? They want to know what the secret weapon is. And then you let them stew on that a little bit. And then if they say, okay, tell me your secret weapon, you'll say, you really want to know? Okay, I'll share it with you. And then you say, have you ever heard of Isogenics? So I think that is brilliant also. Very brilliant verbiage. Very brilliant. Okay, so those are just a few of my tips. Rachel, would you like to run that video? This is a video that Michael posted on a thread that I happened to see, and it really just talks about ways to have a conversation with somebody and things that we possibly do that we shouldn't do, and things that we don't do that maybe we could do.
I can't hear anything. This is Jen.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
Henry Higgins and My Fair Lady, stick to the weather and your health. But these days with climate change and anti-vax,
I'm going to start over, you guys, because I have me on mute. You couldn't hear.
about politics or religion, childcare, food. And how many of you know at least one person that you avoid because you just don't want to talk to them? You know, it used to be that in order to have a polite conversation, we just had to follow the advice of Henry Higgins and My Fair Lady, stick to the weather and your health. But these days with climate change and anti-vaxxing, those subjects are not safe either. So this world that we live in, this world in which every conversation has the potential to devolve into an argument, where our politicians can't speak to one another, and where even the most trivial of issues have someone fighting both passionately for it and against it, it's not normal. Research did a study of 10,000 American adults, and they found that at this moment we are more polarized, more divided than we ever have been in history. We're less likely to compromise, which means we're not listening to each other, and we make decisions about where to live, who to marry, and even who our friends are going to be based on what we already believe. Again, that means we're not listening to each other. A conversation requires a balance between talking and listening, and somewhere along the way we lost that balance. Now, part of that is due to technology, the smartphones that you all either have in your hands or close enough that you could grab them really quickly. According to Pew Research, about 1/3 of American teenagers send more than 100 texts a day. And many of them, almost most of them, are more likely to text their friends than they are to talk to them face to face. There's this great piece in The Atlantic. It was written by a high school teacher named Paul Barnwell. And he did the communication project. He wanted to teach him how to speak on a specific subject without using notes. And he said this: I came to realize that conversational competence might be the single most overlooked skill we fail to teach. Kids spend hours each day engaging with ideas and each other through screens, but rarely do they have an opportunity to hone their interpersonal communication skills. It might sound like a funny question, but we have to ask ourselves, is there any 21st century skill more important in being able to sustain coherent, confident conversation? Now, I make my living talking to people. Nobel Prize winners, truck drivers, billionaires, kindergarten teachers, heads of state, plumbers. I talk to people that I like. I talk to people that I don't like. I talk to some people that I disagree with deeply on a personal level, but I still have a great conversation with them. So I'd like to spend the next 10 minutes or so teaching you how to talk and how to listen. Many of you have already heard a lot of advice on this. Things like look the person in the eye, think of interesting topics to discuss in advance, nod and smile to show that you're paying attention. Repeat back what you just heard or summarize it. So I want you to forget all of that. It is crap. There is no reason to learn how to show you're paying attention if you are in fact paying attention. Now, I actually use the exact same skills as a professional interviewer that I do in regular life. So I'm going to teach you how to interview people, and that's actually going to help you learn how to be better conversationalists. Learn to have a conversation without wasting your time, without getting bored, and please God, without offending anybody. We've all had really great conversations. We've had them before. We know what it's like. The kind of conversation where you walk away feeling engaged and inspired, or where you feel like you've made a real connection or you've been perfectly understood. There is no reason why most of your interactions can't be like that. So I have 10 basic rules. I'm going to walk you through all of them, but honestly, if you just choose one of them and master it, you're already going to enjoy better conversations. Number 1, don't multitask. And I don't mean just set down your cell phone or your tablet or your car keys or whatever's in your hand. I mean, be present. Be in that moment. Don't be thinking about your argument you have with your boss. Don't be thinking about what you're going to have for dinner. If you want to get out of the conversation, get out of the conversation. But don't be half in it and half out of it. Number 2, don't pontificate. If you wanted to state your opinion without any opportunity for response or argument or pushback or growth, write a blog. Now, there's a really good reason why I don't allow pundits on my show, because they're really boring. If they're a conservative, they're going to hate Obama and food stamps and abortion. If they're a liberal, they're going to hate big banks and oil corporations and Dick Cheney. Totally predictable. And you don't want to be like that. You need to enter every conversation assuming that you have something to learn. The famed therapist Eb Scott Peck said that true listening requires a setting aside of oneself. And sometimes that means setting aside your personal opinion. He said that sensing this acceptance, the speaker will become less and less vulnerable and more likely to open up the inner recesses of his or her mind to the listener. Again, assume that you have something to learn. Bill Nye, everyone you will ever meet knows something that you don't. I put it this way: everybody is an expert in something. Number 3, use open-ended questions. In this case, take a cue from journalists. Start your questions with who, what, where, when, why, or how. If you put in a complicated question, you're going to get a simple answer out. If I ask you, were you terrified? You're going to respond to the most powerful word in that sentence, which is terrified. And the answer is, yes, I was, or no, I wasn't. Were you angry? Yes, I was very angry. Let them describe it. They're the ones that know. Try asking them things like, what was that like? How did that feel? Because then they might have to stop for a moment and think about it. And you're going to get a much more interesting response. Number 4, go with the flow. That means thoughts will come into your mind and you need to let them go out of your mind. We've heard interviews often in which a guest is talking for several minutes and then the host comes back in and asks a question which seems like it comes out of nowhere or it's already been answered. That means the host probably stopped listening 2 minutes ago because he thought of this really clever question and he was just bound and determined to say that. And we do the exact same thing. We're sitting there having a conversation with someone and then we remember that time that we met Hugh Jackman in a coffee shop. And we stop listening. Stories and ideas are going to come to you. You need to let them come and let them go. Number 5, if you don't know, say that you don't know. Now, people on the radio, especially on NPR, are much more aware that they're going on the record. And so they're more careful about what they claim to be an expert in and what they claim to know for sure. Do that. Err on the side of caution. Talk should not be cheap. Number 6, don't equate your experience with theirs. If they're talking about having lost a family member, don't start talking about the time that you lost a family member. If they're talking about the trouble that they're having at work, don't tell them about how much you hate your job. It's not the same. It is never the same. All experiences are individual. And more importantly, it is not about you. You don't need to take that moment to prove how amazing you are or how much you've suffered. Somebody asked Stephen Hawking once what his IQ was, and he says, I have no idea. People who brag about their IQs are losers. Conversations are not a promotional opportunity. Number 7, try not to repeat yourself. It's condescending and it's really boring. And we tend to do it a lot, especially in work conversations or in conversations with our kids. We have a point to make, so we just keep rephrasing it over and over. Don't do that. Number 8, stay out of the weeds. Frankly, people don't care about the years, the names, the dates, all those details that you're struggling to come up with in your mind. They don't care. What they care about is you. They care about what you're like, what you have in common. So forget the details. Leave them out. Number 9, this is not the last one, but it is the most important one. Listen. I cannot tell you how many really important people have said that listening is perhaps the number one most important skill that you could develop. Buddha said, and I'm paraphrasing, if your mouth is open, you're not learning. And Calvin Coolidge said, no man ever listened his way out of a job. Why do we not listen to each other? Number 1, we'd rather talk. When I'm talking, I'm in control. I don't have to hear anything I'm not interested in. I'm the center of attention. I can bolster my own identity. But there's another reason. We get distracted. The average person talks at about 225 words per minute, but we can listen at up to 500 words per minute. So our minds are filling in those other 275 words. And look, I know it takes effort and energy to actually pay attention to someone. But if you can't do that, you're not in a conversation. You're just two people shouting out barely related sentences in the same place. You have to listen to one another. Stephen Covey said it very beautifully. He said, most of us don't listen with the intent to understand. We listen with the intent to reply. One more rule, and number 10, and it's this one. Be brief. All of this boils down to the same basic concept, and it is this one. Be interested in other people. You know, I grew up with a very famous grandfather, and there was kind of a ritual in my home. People would come over to talk to my grandparents, and after they would leave, my mother would come over to us, and she'd say, do you know who that was? She was the runner-up to Miss America. He was the mayor of Sacramento. She won a Pulitzer Prize. He's a Russian ballet dancer. And I kind of grew up assuming everyone has some hidden amazing thing about them. And honestly, I think it's what makes me a better host. I keep my mouth shut as often as I possibly can. I keep my mind open, and I'm always prepared to be amazed, and I'm never disappointed. You do the same thing. Go out, talk to people, listen to people, and most importantly, be prepared to be amazed. Thanks.
I really think that is awesome, you guys.
Email to a colleague.
I am going to challenge myself to, when I am listening to people, to be prepared to be amazed. And that's going to be my goal, is to truly focus on people, truly give them 100% of my heart, because I do believe that's what we are to do. And then our job at that point is to absolutely not prejudge anybody, but to listen to what their needs, wants, and their ailments and their pain is, and then go from there. Because we definitely, and I know this from the bottom of my heart, have the best program, the best products, the best company to help and satisfy everyone's needs out there. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind, and I do believe that most of you on this live believe the same thing. And if we can go out with big hearts and just share, and that's our job, is to share. Our job is to share, and then their job is to decide, right? Our job isn't to decide for them. And if we can do that, we can all change the world. And I know that we have that in all of us to do that. So I have one more thing I'm going to read, and I'll let everybody go, because I know there's another Zoom tonight. I saw this poem, and I just really thought it was pretty cool, because it does speak, you know, for all of us what we do. It says, we may not always realize that everything we do affects not only our lives, but touches others too. A single happy smile can always brighten up the day for anyone who happens to be passing by your way. And a little bit of thoughtfulness that shows someone you care creates a ray of sunshine for both of you to share. Yes, every time you offer someone a helping hand, every time you show a friend you understand, every time you have a kind and gentle word to give, you help someone to find beauty in this precious life we live. For happiness brings happiness, and loving ways bring love, and giving is a treasure that contentment is made of. And I think if we can lead with that in everything we do and share from the bottom of our hearts and find out the needs of people and walk around really with an open eyes and open ears to hear what people need and we listen to, you guys, the sky's the limit. We can save so many lives. And Frank, I am so happy for you, and I'm so proud of you because he was a little nervous today. The sky's the limit for all of us, and I'm so excited. And thank you so much for being on the Zoom.
Good job, Mitzi. You were awesome. Great Zoom.
You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. I'll get the recording up on Rising Stars.
Yay.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.